The current push for the Fix Our Forests Act, or H.R. 8790, is just business as usual, not actually shifting the paradigm. It's simply repackaged to benefit the timber industry. This legislation is being touted as a new solution, but let's be real, it's just more of the same. Logging proponents love to use crises to push their agenda. Remember the Cedar Fire in 2003? That was when Southern California's chaparral fires were used to justify logging in conifer forests. Now here we are again, with logging disguised as fire prevention, but the truth is, this policy has failed for decades. Despite the grand claims, Fix Our Forests Act is based on a failed fuels reduction strategy. This tactic has been the cornerstone of U.S. fire policy for years, and what do we have to show for it? Skyrocketing fire suppression costs and unprecedented home losses. But what logging proponents won't tell you is that this act doesn't represent a new approach. Wildfires aren't happening because forests are, quote, overgrown. The park fire, the airport fire, the bridge fire, these all burned through shrublands, not the dense forests Fix Our Forests Act claims to, quote, fix. And if you really want proof, check out the Wildland Fire Explorer tool to see what kind of landscapes are burning. Spoiler, it's not what Fix Our Forests Act is targeting. Even more concerning, the Pacific Northwest set a modern record for acres burned this season at 2.1 million, surpassing the 1.98 million acres burned in 2020 across Oregon and Washington. The majority of this, 1.8 million acres, occurred in Oregon's rangeland blazes. While logging industry advocates claim their deceptively named Fix Our Forests Act will address wildfire issues, it actually rolls back essential environmental protections, granting logging companies increased access to mature and old trees in our national forests and other public lands. This approach doesn't mitigate fire risks, rather, it exacerbates them. By creating drier conditions, more flammable fuels, and exposing forests to hotter temperatures and stronger winds, thinning and logging intensifies fire severity and emits about 3 times more carbon into the atmosphere per acre than wildfire alone. It's important to recognize that while not all fires are the same, they occur in different fire-adapted ecosystems. Our approach to wildfire management should focus on true community protection. This means working from the community out rather than the wild in. Effective wildfire mitigation requires practical measures that address the specific risks in each community. There are already more effective policies in place, like the Safe Home Act, H.R. 6861, which offers a 25% refundable tax credit for wildfire mitigation. This bill puts the focus where it belongs, on making homes more fire resistant, not on tearing down forests. Unlike Fix Our Forests Act, the Safe Home Act targets the real issue, reducing fire risk at the wildland-urban interface where homes are most vulnerable. According to FEMA, federally funded wildland-urban interface fire mitigation efforts have a benefit-cost ratio of $3 to 1. Simple measures like adding fire-resistant windows and roofs, removing flammable materials, and clearing vegetation around homes are cost-effective and significantly reduce the risk of home loss during wildfires. And then there's the Wildfire Defense Act, S. 2882 from the 116th Congress, introduced by then-Senator Kamala Harris, focusing on comprehensive wildfire mitigation and community preparedness. This bill emphasizes protecting communities, especially low-income ones, by investing in measures proven to reduce fire damage. H.R. 8790 is expected to be put to a vote next week. And it's crucial that we stand in opposition to this bill. Instead, we should support policies like the Wildfire Defense Act and the Safe Home Act, which address climate change and protect forests in a scientifically sound and cost-effective manner. Our communities and environment depend on thoughtful and evidence-based approaches to the inevitable wildfire season. It's essential to highlight the shortcomings of such self-serving policies and hold policymakers accountable. We need real change, working from the community out, not the wild in. Send a message through our action alert and urge your representative to vote no on H.R. 8790.